aren't the only ones who have to be outside on a day like today, and that's why first responders want to remind everyone about the signs and symptoms of heat exhaustion and heat stroke. News 10 NBC investigative reporter Jennifer Lukey is live at the Henrietta Fire Station, where EMS providers did a live demo today on what to look out for.
Yeah, Nikki, local EMS agencies, local fire departments like the one you see behind me, they have been busy over the last couple of days responding to numerous emergencies caused by the heat, as have our local emergency room doctors. So today, some of them got together to practice some of the best practices for responding to these type of emergencies. Medicine and EMS teams from the Monroe-Livingston Regional EMS Council simulated different responses to a heat stroke emergency. Volunteer victims mimicked some of the symptoms of heat stroke, and EMS personnel provided the care. They say this week's heat wave won't be the last of the summer, as we're predicted to have unusually high temperatures in both July and August. So they want to make sure they are all trained to the highest standards and make sure all of us know the risks of heat exhaustion, which can then lead to heat stroke, and what to do if we find ourselves or someone else that we know in trouble.
You don't have sports doctors, athletic trainers, other certified trained medical professional like paramedics at all of these sites where people are working or recreating or playing sports. So the best ears and eyes to watch for these kinds of changes are with coaches, teammates, co-workers, parents. Those are folks who can understand where someone might be showing signs of distress, why it's so important to remove them from the source of heat, get in the shade, get in a cool area, and then call 911 if it's indicated.
You know, Nikki, the simulations were actually planned before we knew how hot it was going to be today, because Medicine has developed some new protocols for handling patients with a heat stroke and heat exhaustion. We're going to talk more about those coming up at 5 o'clock, but I know a lot of sports teams, my kids all had their events canceled yesterday and today. They're doing what they can to try and minimize any of the impacts. But something I learned today that I didn't know, and maybe Stacy can chime in on this as well, Nikki, is that the heat index that we hear, it's 92, but it feels like 100. Well, that's if you're like me, standing under a tree in the shade with a little bit of breeze. If you're out in the sun, it's even hotter than that.
Oof. My 8th grader, soon to be freshman, still wanted to play wiffle ball outside today. I was like, go on ahead, honey. Thank you, Jen.